Good morning, everyone. This is Kim Challen. I'm so blessed and excited. Tom asked me to talk today on our World Changer call. Can everyone hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. Okay, awesome. Hi, Teresa, Jerry, good morning. Cynthia, good morning. Good morning. Okay, I am going to see if I can go live real quick. So hang on with me while people are joining. Let me see if I can get the technology to work. We have two Zooms going on at the very same time in our house. So I'm in my bedroom with the door shut so that me and Tom aren't trying to talk over everyone. Good morning, Sue, Lydia. Hi, good morning. Mimi's in the house, Melissa. Good morning, you guys. Okay, give me 1 second. See if I can go live here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It is yet another rainy day in San Diego. I can't believe it.
I was just talking to my best friend there last
While we
night.
have some silence, if you want to say hello, go ahead and unmute yourself, say hi and where you're calling in from, or tuning in from, I should say.
Mimi from New York. Hi.
Teresa from
There's a little microphone icon on the bottom left-hand side if you want to say hello. Why is everyone so quiet today?
I'll say hi, Angelina. I'm picking up groceries with my
Okay.
mask on.
It's
Can you
thinking
hear
about
me?
it. Give me 1 second, guys. I don't think it's going to work. This is usually a sign it's not going to work. Okay, I think I'm too far away from the router. All right, let me get back to the Zoom. Okay. All right, can you give me another thumbs up? You guys can hear? Okay, you can't hear us talking. We're all talking. Okay, interesting. Sue from Philadelphia, hello. Hello, hello. Okay, well, let's just get going. I want to be on time. It's 2 minutes past the hour. Again, I want to welcome you all to our Saturday World Changer Mentor Call. This is a coaching platform that Tom and I have done for about 11 years, and it's generic to the industry. We have people from different backgrounds and different companies who tune in. So if we do open up for questions, I like to mention that to keep your questions generic. Almost every question is across the board, something that it doesn't matter what company you're in. Usually we're all kind of going through the same stuff. I'm really excited to talk about what Tom had asked me to talk about. How do you duplicate? What's the simplest way to duplicate? And then what stumps it? This is one of my most passionate things to talk about. So I'm gonna actually go through some steps. You know, how do you create a duplicatable movement? And I wanna make sure I don't miss anything. So I'm gonna be looking at my notes here. But so the number one key to duplication and building, and we put a bold statement out there, 1,000 people in 6 months. Now, to many of you, you might go, oh my gosh, I just want 10 people in 6 months, right? And some people are like, I want, you know, more than that in 6 months. Okay, so we wanted to put a bold statement out there because we want to expand your mind on what's possible. If one person can do it, another person can do it, another person can do it. And especially when you do what we're going to talk about today. And that is, and by the way, yeah, let's just keep it there. So the number one thing that we have to have for duplication is a system. Okay, you've probably heard that people are not duplicatable, systems are. One of the very challenging things in our industry is when we become too good and we know a lot and we're professionals and we're experts. And then as we're building our business, our new team members are going, oh my gosh, I can't do that. I'll never be that good. I don't know if I can ever become that, right? And so we create instant fear in our brand new people. So when we have a system that is the tool. So we're not the tool, but the system is. That's what creates massive duplication in our industry. And so there's 3 steps. No matter what company you're in, these 3 steps are what we want to focus on 70 to 80% of our day. And that is, we talk about a lot on this call. And if you've been with us a while, you know what those 3 steps are. It's you connect with someone, you share your business with them, and you enroll them either as a customer or a team member. That is it. If we focused on that 70 to 80% of our day, and we stayed in that zone 70 to 80% of our day, you guys, our businesses would thrive, right? So let me go back to the connect. The connect is simple. You want to keep it short, curiosity driven. This is where you just want to give enough to give them an idea of like wanting to know more. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that we make is we say too much in the beginning. So keep it short, very curiosity driven. Ask them if they're open. Let them know it would be, you'd be grateful if they took a look, whatever. If it's a good friend, hey, I need your help. Can you take a look at something? If it's someone that you haven't connected with in a while, hey, I'm so excited about a project I just started. I'm looking to partner with the right people. I thought about you. I don't know if the timing's right for you or not, but are you open to taking a peek? Simple and short. The next step of sharing is by far the most duplicatable is in our industry right now. There's a lot of ways to share a video, a webinar, a lot of different ways, but what we've found to be so simple is an ATM system. An ATM system is a Facebook group right now that you add people to, you tag them in a message or two, and then you message them, and then you follow up. ATM, it's proven to work, and it creates, when you have a Facebook group, it creates social proof, right? Especially when you have momentum in there. You see people in there, and they're seeing people win, they're seeing people excited, they're seeing the comments. It creates a momentous movement. So ATM is super powerful, and you don't have to be the message. Again, you're just directing people to the message and then following up and enrolling. Those are the 3 steps, right? We all know this. If we've been in the industry, we know this. If you're brand new, there it is. That's the secret to being successful. Okay, so if it's that simple, where's it break down, right? Where's it break down? So there's only really 2 things. It's either skill set or mindset. Skill set is very teachable. It's what we do on these calls every week. We teach the skill set, what to say, what not to say, how to tweak, how to make it even better. We all can get better. A skill set's something we can all do. What I want to focus on today is mindset, because I truly believe this business is 99% mindset. The difference between people that are having wild success and struggling is right here between our 2 ears is where we struggle the most. And the thing is that we are in a people business, and just to say it bluntly, most of us are pretty messed up in this little space right here, right? A lot of times we bring years of things, baggage, mindsets, belief systems, fears, and we bring all of that into a business, and then we wonder why it doesn't work. If we can conquer our mindset, conquer what's preventing us, conquer what is holding us back and what breaks those 3 simple systems down, game over. And if we could teach our team to do it, game over. So I'm going to focus on our mindset, and what happens is a lot of times we procrastinate, right? We focus on doing the busy things, which means we're not doing those 3 steps. We'll find other things. Well, maybe I'll do a post on social media, and I'll spend 20 minutes making the image really pretty. And, we get busy with emails, and we get busy with, different stuff that it's not in our income producing 10 out of 10 activities. A lot of times we have analysis paralysis. We decide to start learning we're hours and days and months before we move, right? And then we create self-sabotage. And then slowly the fear sets in. And really everything I just mentioned, the root of everything is that 4-letter word, fear. So let's talk about fear today. Because I think it's something, if we were all honest, and maybe you could say in the chat, have you ever let fear stop you from pursuing this business? Have you ever had something you feared that, do you struggle with fear? If we were all honest, I would say most of us do. And if you don't, my challenge to you would be, maybe your goal's not big enough. We should all have a big, audacious goal that scares us, right? That makes us uncomfortable. That makes us like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm going to have to get better to accomplish that, right? So I think we all struggle with fear at different levels, no matter who we are. But I guarantee you, your team will struggle with fear. And so fear is one of my number one things to talk about, because I've struggled with it so much my entire life. And so much so that in our seminars, my husband's like, Kim, you need to teach on fear. And it was my number one fear, to talk about anything, let alone fear. So there's some things that I want to share today that they're very practical. You can pass on to your team, but it works. It works. And really shedding light to this 4-letter word, because the fact is that none of us were born with fear, right? We weren't created with fear. Fear was learned. Fear was a choice that we took on at some point in our life through experiences. Whatever it was, we decided to have fear, right? So we weren't created to be fearful. We were created to be bold and powerful. So I want you guys to write down the word fearless. Fearless. And then what I want you to do is underline less. And what I want you to realize is that fearing or being fearless is almost a facade, but what we want to do is fear less. We want to learn how to put the emphasis on less. We're going to have fear. Fear is going to be there. For most of us, it's like an instant, natural thing that is coming up in our mindset. So the whole thing is learning how to move through fear, how to fear less. And one thing that I love to do is ask people, where in your life can you target? If you went deep down to the root, when did it start for you? Right? Sure, it might have been when we were 2 years old and we hit our knee on something and we realized, oh my gosh, there's pain out there in the world. But when did you choose to take it on? And yes, fear's a liar. It's an absolute liar. It's not real. I know growing up, I grew up with a very strong dad. And I learned that I was always I felt like I could never do things good enough. I was always trying to get his approval. I was always trying to feel like I was good enough. And so I carried that into my adult life with feeling like I needed approval from people. I didn't know if I was good enough to pursue anything. So at some point in my life, I agreed with that thought process. It became one of my biggest things that I had to deal with and really get to the root of where it started in my life. So I encourage you, if you really have a stronghold of fear, to really dig down and think, where does that come from, right? And there's some things that you can do to really shift your mindset. So the first thing I want you to write down is, number one thing to conquering fear is choosing our thoughts. Our thoughts are so powerful. Our thoughts are more powerful than you could ever imagine. And the thing is that our brain, we have 50,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of them are negative, just naturally. We naturally lean towards the negative side of our thoughts. 50,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of them are negative. So when you realize that, and this is actually a fact, that 75 to 95% of illnesses are a direct result of our thoughts. Like, we can literally think ourselves sick, right? Thoughts are things. A couple of tools: Carolyn Leaf, Switch on Your Brain. She has a whole 30-day detox. It's a great book. If you don't have her book, get it, because she talks about this, how thoughts are things, and we literally create things through our thoughts. If you're a Tony Robbins person, he talks about the state of your mind as a choice. At any given moment, where we're at in our state of mind, we can shift it like that. It's a choice. The Bible, Proverbs 4:23, talks about being careful what you think about. What you think about runs your life. So we have to realize that we're in control of our thoughts. That 80% negative role that we have going on in our brain, in our mind, in our thoughts, we can shift it because it's a choice. We're actually in control of what we're thinking. So thank you, Carolyn Leaf, Dr. Carolyn Leaf, Switch on Your Brain. Powerful book. I highly, highly recommend it. So if fear is part of our thought life and we're in control of it, then we can choose not to fear in a moment, right? So we can totally, in an instant, shift what we're thinking. And so this is one tool that I love to give people because it has changed my life so much. It's something you can do as soon as you think a negative thought. There's a word you can speak and it's powerful. It's my number one tool and I do it 100 times a day, and now my children do it. And that's the word cancel. Cancel. So what we do is we make agreements with our thoughts. Just like I made an agreement to saying I'm not good enough from having a strong dad. I made an agreement with that. And so when you cancel something, it's done. It's gone, right? You cancel it. It's over. And so it's a very real thing for you to not only think cancel, but speak it, because our words are just as powerful, which is my next thing. So when you run into, again, I want you to write down the word cancel. Every thought, every negative thing, that person's not going to be interested. I'm not going to be good enough. I'll never hit that rank. All of those things we're thinking, cancel. Okay. It can no longer exist. In an instant, you can choose the opposite. I am good enough. That person will get in my business. I will hit that rank, right? We have to speak the opposite. Okay. Number two is choose our words. So if we're thinking the negative thoughts, the natural progression is we start speaking it. And that's where it gets really scary and dangerous, because you've probably heard this, is that our thoughts become our words, become our actions, become our destiny. So it's the very root of our thought that we have to get control of before we start speaking it over our life and over our future. So you've probably heard life and death are in the power of the tongue. I have a really powerful story I want to share with you, a personal story of mine of how really real that is. It's an extreme example, but to me, it's everything. Okay, life and death are in the power of the tongue. As you're speaking throughout your day, what are you speaking? Is it life or is it death? So when I was 23 years old, I was just graduating college, and my number one goal in life was to sell my college car and get my big grown-up car, right? And so I had spent months trying to sell this car, and it was this little red 2-door Nissan thing, ugly, right? And I finally had it sold, and I was so excited. And I was washing my car the night before with a friend, and for whatever reason, I spoke these words. I said, "Now watch me get in a car accident." Why did I speak it? No idea. Why did I think it? No idea. Well, here I am the very next day delivering this car to the new owner so I could go buy had everything picked out, my brand new car. I was so excited. And what happens? I got in a car accident. I was flying down the freeway, 85, 90 miles an hour, getting ready for, my makeup, putting my makeup on, my lip gloss, switching the channel, doing whatever, thinking I'm invincible. And when I look up, I realize I'm just inches away from a car. I swerve and I start spinning out of control, flying down the freeway, the 10 freeway, which is a major freeway here in California. Now I'm spinning out of control in this metal box, 95 miles an hour. On one side of me, it's oncoming traffic. On the other side of me is a 30-foot embankment. And in an instant, I knew I was going to die. That was my thought. This is it. This is it. And thank God, while I was spinning, and in that instant, I spoke the one word that mattered, the only word that mattered, Jesus. And I didn't speak it, I screamed it. And in that instant, miracle after miracle after miracle happened, and it's why I'm here today. So the night before I spoke death, and in that instant, I spoke life. And I truly believe that's why I'm here today. And that's extreme, I know, but power is in our words. Life and death are in the power of our tongue. Do not speak death. You can literally create the scenario if you're speaking it. I promise you, you can create an illness out of your thoughts and your words. You can create whatever you want. Speak life. It's so important. It's our actions and it's our destiny. Okay, so when you speak the word that you shouldn't speak, I want you to say cancel. I cancel that. I've done it so much. Like another example, my twins, one was sick, the other one wasn't. I'm like, the other one's eating sugar. And I was like, Madison, you keep eating sugar like that, you're gonna be sick just like your sister. And you know what she said to me? Cancel. And she didn't get sick. So you guys, it's powerful once you get your family doing this too. It's so powerful what you cancel instantly. As soon as you think it, it will shift your life. So cancel the agreements you're making. I don't care if you have to do it every hour, every second of the day. Do this. Okay. So number 3, moving on, is take action. So action trumps fear. Action trumps fear. If you can't beat fear, right? If it's so deep rooted, then we have to learn how to do it scared, right? We have to take the steps, whether we feel the fear or not. We have to take the steps no matter what. Otherwise, we're going to stay the same. Otherwise, nothing's going to shift. Otherwise, we're going to waste another month, another year, another 5 years in the same mode we've been. So we have to learn to draw a line in the sand. My favorite story of this, my good friend Lisa Van Horn, who you've heard, 10 years in this industry, no experience. The fears in her mind almost prevented her from joining her next adventure that she's doing right now, where she's one of the fastest growing teams. But for 10 years, she struggled. For 10 years, she didn't believe in herself. For 10 years, she said she couldn't do it. And then one day she drew a line in the sand and she said, okay, just show me. What do I need to do? She was humbled. She was coachable. She was hungry. And from that moment on, her breakthrough, thing after thing after thing. So draw a line in the sand and take action. I don't care if you failed 100 times. That's what causes the mindset of us. The only way we fail is if we quit. So if we keep moving forward and tweaking our skill sets and tweaking our mindset and doing the 3 simple things that we started with, you'll win. You'll win. So here's another example of drawing a line in the sand and taking action. Thank you, Christine Queen. I love you. I have another really extreme example, you guys. So we had reached a point in 2003. Our mindset had led us to being completely broke. We had gotten so burned out of this industry because we did everything wrong. You guys, we were doing everything wrong. We were trying to be everything, do everything, burn the midnight hours. We were working so hard. We were raising a family. I had 4 kids under 4, and we were burned out and exhausted, and we left the industry. And we slowly started, we didn't know what else to do. It's all we had done. And so we tried to do some traditional businesses, and Tom found himself door knocking because we were so broken down. And well, you've probably heard the story. This is where 2 days before Christmas, both our cars were repossessed, right? We had Christmas, 4 kids under 4, no presents, and no cars, right? This was 2003 for us because of our mindset had led us here. So We literally, in January, just 30 short, it wasn't even 30 days. It was like 2 weeks. We drew a line in the sand. We said, this is enough. Okay. We're better than this. The industry works. The factor in it not working was us. We were doing it wrong. And we drew a line in the sand and we said, we're getting back, but we're doing it right. We're learning how to do the system. We create a system. In 2 weeks, we create a system and we followed the system. And it's what I just taught at the beginning of this call. Connect, share, and enroll. We did that system. It's all we did 70, 80% of our time. Our team duplicated. In 1 month, we went from -600 in our checking account, no cars, about ready to move in with family, to making $11,000. That's the power of shifting our mind. That's the power of drawing a line in the sand. And that's the power of taking action. So here is the action steps I want to give you. So number 1, choose our thoughts, right? We're in control of our thoughts. Number 2, choose our words. Make sure we're not speaking death. Cancel every thought and every word that we speak that doesn't align with who you were created to be. And number 3, take action. Those 3 things. Move in your fear. Learn how to do it scared. You guys, we have to get over our fear because we have to do it for the person we're supposed to go out there and bless. We have to do it for our family. We have to do it for ourselves. We have to do it for our team. We have to get over our fears that hold us back, right? Because this is so much bigger. You were born for a purpose. You were born to change lives. And if you're in this industry right now and you're on this call, you were born to get over the fears that are holding you back. You were born to wildly succeed. And I know everyone on this call can do it if we just master our mindset and our skill set and we do those 3 things. That's it, right? So here's I love action steps. I'm going to give you some homework, right? So number 1, if you're a faith-based person, prayer is the most powerful thing you could do. You guys, fear not is in the Bible 365 times. God knew we were going to struggle with fear. He encourages us there's one for every day of the year. So if you're a praying person, a person of faith, and you know this, pray for yourself, right? To be bold and to cancel any agreement with fear, but pray for the people on your team. Whether they know the Lord or not, pray. It's the most powerful weapon and tool there is. If you're not, and that's okay, then, knowing that everything I just shared today is so true, that you can literally choose everything. You have to focus on you. You have to take control of your mindset. You have to take control of your thoughts, take control of your words. So focus on what you can do in your own strength. Focus on conquering this 4-letter word fear once and for all, drawing a line in the sand and realizing you'll never be fearless. It's normal to have fear, but to move through it and in it. And then number 3, focus on other people. If you can't get over fear for yourself, you have to think about that person, that mom who's afraid, who's lonely, who needs a solution, who's losing her home, who needs to provide for her family. That single mom, you need to focus on the person you need to go out and save and help and provide a solution for. You need to do it for your family and your team. So focus on others when you're conquering your fears. And number 4, take action. So here's your homework for today. There's something called the 5-second rule, where you literally, there's something out there you feared doing, and I want you to write it down right now. Who's the person you've been afraid to call? What's the one thing you've been afraid to do? Write down one fear that's holding you back right now. I just want you to write it. You don't have to share it. Write it down. And then I want you to apply the 5-second rule and take action. I want you to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then do it. Do that one thing that's scaring the crap out of you right now. And learn how to do one scary thing every day. Learn how to do one scary thing every day and you guys will conquer fear faster than anything. And you will have a thriving business, and you'll learn how to teach your team members how to move through their fears. So I want to hear success stories. That one thing that you were afraid to do, usually it's a person. For me, I'm thinking about someone for a good month before I finally get up the nerve to call them, to reach out to them, to connect with them. So I struggle with it too, you guys. I have so many fears. I told Tom I didn't want to do this call, right? I have to move through my fear just like everybody else. We're all human and we struggle with it. So if you're committed to doing that, the number one thing you've been afraid of, and you're going to apply the 5-second rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you go do it. I want you to say yes in the comments, and I'm watching. I want you to say yes if you're willing to go do that. Christine Brock, of course you're first. Love you, girl. Joe Ford, awesome. Yes, yes, yes. I don't know how to say your name, Dujan, but I was reading your comment and it really touched me. Yes, yes, yes. You guys, the yeses are coming in. Okay. All right. So we're going to go do something we fear. As soon as we get off this call, we're going to hit it. We're going to go, that one thing on your paper, we're going to go do it. And then we're going to go tackle the 3 steps in a powerful, courageous mode today, because you are courageous and you are powerful and you are bold, and fear is a liar and it's not going to hold you back anymore. Okay, you guys, that's all I got. Okay, so it's so powerful. So yes, 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 yes. Dujan, did I say it right? Yes, yes, so many yeses. Do one. Thank you. That's so helpful. Do one. Thank you. I love it. You guys are amazing. Hi, Jen, Nicole, Lisa. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. Okay, so I want to hear your stories of your testimonials of what you did and the results. So I'm going to open it up. Maybe if you have 1 or 2 questions. It sounds like you guys weren't able to speak earlier, but if anyone wants to ask a quick question or share something that you did that you faced fear, like my crazy stories. If you want to share something right now, or a question or a thought, go ahead and unmute yourself. Maybe 1 or 2 people. Let's see.
Hey, Kim, it's Christine.
My goal was 30 minutes and I did it. Okay, does anyone want to share real quick? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Kim, can you hear me? It's
I
Christine.
love this, you guys. Do one.
I don't think she can hear me.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Are you guys not able to talk?
Christine, the rest of us can hear
Christine
you.
Brock, are you guys able to talk?
I'm trying to
Mary?
talk. Can you hear me now?
Trying to talk.
Yes.
So weird.
Yes.
Okay, let me see if I can figure this out. That is the weirdest thing.
Hello.
I don't know if Zoom is having Christine Brock. You're unmuted.
I am unmuted. You can't hear me. You need to turn on your sound.
I just did. Oh my gosh, this whole time my sound's been muted. Okay, you guys heard me okay though, right? Obviously.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
My sound is good. What a goof I am. Okay.
So I wanted to just say, I just wanted to encourage you because I wanted you to know that I had a really rough night last night. My little didn't sleep, so that means Mama didn't sleep, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna nap. I'm not gonna go on the call today." And I just decided, well, I'll just see what's up. And you spoke to exactly what I'm sure I needed to hear and everyone else needed to hear. So I wanted to say thank you for overcoming your fear and doing this today, because so good. Love you, Kim.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you so much. That's so you. You're such an encourager, and that means the world to me. So I'm so glad you got on the call. Love you, girl. Love you so much. Appreciate that.
Right back at you. Okay, I'm muting myself again.
Duan's like, cancel that mute. You're canceled. Guys, oh my gosh, that's actually really powerful. Do you know that so many people's voices are silenced? Mine was for years. You have to cancel that. You have to cancel it. If you have felt like you're supposed to be silenced, cancel that. You're supposed to speak and share and be bold. Oh my gosh, that's actually, I feel like super prophetic. Cancel the mute. Okay, anyone else want to share?
Hey,
my God.
Kim.
Hi,
Hi.
Keely.
Yes, Keely. I jumped on the call a little bit late, but I am brand new to network marketing. So it's a huge step for me in my life and just kind of a huge leap of faith. And I just want to say that you were just what I did catch was so encouraging. I am a person of faith. And so it was a really good reminder of what I needed to do and what I needed to keep speaking over myself instead of doubting if this is for me or if this is right, because I don't believe it was a mistake that the opportunity came my way. So just thank you.
Oh, Keely, you're so welcome. And welcome to our amazing industry, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, you're actually sharing something that I'd forgotten to share, and I appreciate you speaking up right now, is that I want to congratulate you for taking the leap of faith to get started, right? Because a lot of times our fear won't even let us do that. So you took the leap, you got started, and then there's this whole series of, can I do it? Can I do it? Right?
Right. Yeah.
You take the leap to get started. I promise you, it's just a matter of taking those little leaps again every day, every day. Take the little leaps. You've already proven you could do it. So I'm so excited for you to have an amazing, successful journey in our industry. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing. Maybe
Kim, I have a quick question for you. Can I ask a question, or are you just taking stories?
Hi, Julie. No, I could take a question.
So I'll keep this super generic, but I have done relationship marketing for years, and so maybe this can help Keely on her journey.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the call, you were talking about people dependent versus system dependent.
Yes.
And so in all these years, I've always struggled. I don't know if I should ATM into like the corporate pages. This is my hot husband, Clayton Weldy.
Hi, husband.
And so I struggle because then, you know, we've got these team pages too, and it compresses those time frames, and maybe we won't miss it as much, or maybe they'll feel loved on as much. But I've always struggled with that. And so being system dependent to me means we go ahead and ATM into the main corporate pages, whatever companies we're with. I don't want to put my new people into too many places, because then a confused mind does nothing.
Yes.
And they're getting a little bit overwhelmed. So I feel like I'm not having the momentum that I am seeking, and I'm going to speak life over it. So if you can just maybe help my brain a little bit, and just an opinion, or if you know factual, what you would suggest with that, since you did speak on being system dependent versus people dependent.
Yes. Okay, let me just make sure I understand the question. Is you feel a little bit overwhelmed because there's too many groups or places to plug people into? Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
And I just want to make sure that I'm streamlining for them, and so they get the most bang for their buck, because all of my friends and all of your guys' friends, like, I feel like we're almost even more in demand with this quarantine stuff, and everybody's online right now. And so I just really want to utilize and make it the most impactful for their time frames, because all my friends are busy mamas with 5, 6 kids. You know, they're working other jobs, they're teaching online yoga, they've got businesses that they're running. And so I just really am searching for the most impactful way to streamline that process.
Okay. Okay. That's such a good question. And it can get over. Some companies don't have a system. And then in others, it's like, oh, there's way too much. What do I do? So for you, and I don't know who you're working with, and because this is a generic call, but I would pick one path for prospecting that it has been proven to work. Okay, so if, you know, maybe someone that brought you in, your team, you know, whatever has been proven to work, I would just follow that and duplicate that. And then once they become a team member, one team group. So if you're upline or if you have a team group or, and that's in the beginning. As they go, they're probably going to discover corporate things and plug in here and there. But in the beginning, it's so important to have that single focus of just do this. So you can say, what did I do? I added you to this group. I tagged you in this video, these 2 videos or 3. And then we got back on, I answered your questions and you got started, right? And you just have to keep pointing back to the system. And so there's got to be one group you add them to for the ATM. And then in my opinion, one team group for now. And you can always take the corporate info and, plug it into your team system. Or maybe it makes sense to have your team's Facebook group and then plug into the corporate one, because you do need the corporate announcements and details and stuff like that. And a lot of times it's more work to extract and put it in. So I would just really encourage you to figure out what makes sense to you and then be super strong on that system. I hope that
Okay.
helps.
So, and it does. So I'm hearing, like, seeing in the chats, like, team group first and then go where the momentum is.
Yeah.
So my brain still, that meme where it's like, what is this? Oh, this is my female brain,
Yeah.
So I just need to get still and pray about it, because all of my friends, have done this for years. And so our team is growing so fast and so much momentum, but then they see, like, they're like, is this the whole company kind of? And so they don't quite get that vision of the momentum quite there.
Yeah.
So, that's an awesome thing to just kind of get still. Hi, Tom.
Hey, Rockstar.
Hey, okay, let's ask your Julie's question to you. See
Uh-uh.
how you would answer
No.
it. Okay,
You're
so
cute.
her question was, with being generic, that she's feeling a little overwhelmed with too many options for the ATM groups, corporate, like there's way too many things that she feels like she's
Yeah.
not streamlining it
Yeah.
for her new people. So what do you
Good
recommend?
question.
Yeah.
So with every company and every system and every team and everything I've ever been a part of, there always is what I've learned is overwhelm is a choice, because there's always going to be a buffet line in every company and every business. It's your job, what I call, because I worked with Danny Johnson and other trainers in the past, and it's like they had a different message and a different system in this, but it was so beneficial that I didn't want to take it off the buffet line. But what I had to learn how to do was bridge the gap. You're the leader that has to bridge the gap and say, because even with corporate, like corporate has systems now, and this has, there's always going to be stuff that you don't necessarily, team doesn't need right now. So I always just teach people, just keep inviting, keep sharing the message, and keep following up and enrolling, and then pick. You only have so much time in the day to train. There'll always be something daily. Just pick one a week or one a day or one every other day. And just tell people, I don't know, all I know is I just plug in and I just do this, this, and this, and then I plug into Saturdays, or I just do this, this, and this. And if I can make the Tuesday, I'll do the Tuesday instead of the Saturday. There's options. So you just have to make that choice, because overwhelm and frustration is usually just, when new people say that, it's usually just them trying to take on more than they think they're just trying to take on everything because they don't want to be left out, or they don't want to miss something. So that's the choice that they're taking on, to be overwhelmed. Just got to pick what you want to do and just stay focused on that, like that 1 call a week or 2 calls a week or whatever that is. Like even me, like my mentor would do calls every day almost, and I would be like, I would just sometimes show up and say hi and then just leave and go prospect.
Okay, awesome. That was very helpful. Thank you, guys.
You bet.
Awesome. Spot on, Tom.
Yeah, because there's some people that can only make this Saturday on your team. And if we didn't do it, they have no training throughout the week because they're working and they're busy. And then all they can make this Saturday is their lifeline. And then there's some people that can be on everything. And the key is not to be on everything, to be honest. If there's a lot, you got to get, that's where we talked about the 10 out of 10. Mm-hmm. If you only have so much, like you got to pick, I only have 2 hours a day to work my business, and 70% of that has to be prospecting. You might only have 15 minutes to jump on a call and then jump off.
Awesome. Thank you, Julie. Anyone have one last question?
Kim, I've got one nugget that I've been living by for the last couple of years, and I heard it a couple years ago.
Okay.
It's what uncomfortable are you going to be comfortable with? Are you going to be uncomfortable with not having enough money for things like happened to you guys? Or are you going to be uncomfortable with doing the scary stuff? So that's my whole thing. And I don't have a whole lot of fear left because we're getting older and we need more money to retire and stuff. So I'm doing the uncomfortable things every single day.
I love it. That is so good. What uncomfortable?
Yep. Are you going to be comfortable with? Yep.
Oh, good. And for
Put that
some
on a
people,
pillow.
right? But write that down. For some
Yeah.
people, it's the extreme of, we lose everything. And some people, they just realize they're going to get moving way before that and get over draw the line in the sand with their uncomfortable spot.
So good.
That's deep. So good. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Who had that question before? That was such a good question.
Julie.
I'm going to do a video. I'm going to do a video on that today because you hear that a lot you hear that a lot. And I've been there so many times in this industry.
Waldy, yeah.
I hear that it's happened to me. It's so hard. That's the number one thing that it's so hard to block out so many things that are coming at us, that are good. Like more training is good, but more training can become bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to point out D. Juan has a hat on and it says yes. And I think that is an awesome prospecting hat. So he's going to get all that good mojo today.
Come on. Who is it? Let me see. I don't see that.
Juan. Yeah, we got to see your hat. There you are.
Hey, what's up, champion? Good to see you again. Right on. Hey,
I love it.
I know. Is there anybody else that wants to just really quick, one more quickie?
Yeah.
I didn't get to be on the. I love these calls so much.
I will. Hi guys. Good morning. Hi. Good morning.
Hi. Good
Good
morning.
So I guess for me, so I wanted to thank you for sharing your story, Kim and Tom. That's incredible and very inspiring. I had something similar with my own family last year. I invested a lot of money in coaching. I wanted to be a small business coach for women in network marketing. It ended up being a total flop and $24,000 in debt. And it was heartbreaking. And when January came, it was like, I'm at square one. I didn't have success in network marketing before. I didn't have success in my own coaching business, but I want to do something. I want to change lives. How can I do that and manage my 3 kids that are under 6 and also pay off this enormous amount of debt? I mean, and the interest is so high on it. And so I was just broken. I was totally broken.
Mm-hmm.
And Paula Wilson reached out to me and I had said, no way, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And she just spoke to me in this bigger picture of what savvy is.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on it so fast. And my thing is I'm getting 2 to 3 people on the phone every day. But for some reason, I'm missing the point of selling them the bigger picture because they're not signing up. And so my team is not growing, therefore I'm not duplicating. What mindset can I change for myself? What questions should I be asking them? What do I want to connect with them. I want to share with them that I'm going to pay off this debt and I'm going to do it by myself. I don't want to use any part of my husband's salary to do this. This was my choice to put our family in a situation and I'm going to fix it.
Yeah.
And so whatever I can do and whenever I can learn from you guys to get out of this situation and get to the top of the company and do whatever I can, please, if you can give me just some golden nuggets on what to ask people, how do your conversations go with people?
Yeah.
How do you get them to to come in and see the bigger picture and throw fear out the freaking window and say, look, I can change my life. This is not like anything else. This is a whole new game-changing thing. How do I get people to see that and join me in that?
Do you? Okay, first off, thank you so much for being so out there with your heart and your story.
Transparent, yes.
I got so much I wish I was taking notes because I wanted to write. I caught so many bullet points. The first question I have for you is this: do you feel sometimes you over communicate them trying to get it?
Absolutely. I talk too much.
To be honest, you can't get the vision in them. They get the vision in them by letting themselves talk. Now, of course, there's a time where you need to share, but I say so. My goal, I mean, sometimes I do, but the key, especially when you're new, especially when you haven't made, when you're new, especially, the key is not to try to convince or explain or share vision too much. The vision should be less than 2 minutes. I've struggled for years. I spent $24,000 on a coaching. I finally found a system that I can help people win. By the way, what are you looking to do? You got to learn to flip it on people and ask questions instead of convincing, because the more you talk, the more you're unconvincing. The more you share the vision sometimes, unless you're an expert at it, the more you answer questions too much in too much detail, the more you're talking them out of it. And your influence becomes less. And I'm not saying with you specifically, but for most people, just saying. Now,
absolutely.
I want to go back to the bigger root, not a bigger one, but another big one that you mentioned. I'm a professional coach that spends a lot of money on coaching, and I know how long it took me to understand how to do something new. To do something new takes 3 to 10 years. So if you spend $20,000 on something, the guru won't tell you this, but it's probably a good program, but it's one of those things where it usually doesn't instantly make you a guru, coach, or trainer, because there's so many hundreds. There's 100 pieces behind that. There's 100 pieces you don't know you need. So as soon as you open the door for investing in a coaching program, it just opens the door to 100 more pieces that you don't know that you need.
So true.
It's like, to become an expert, it takes 10,000 hours at anything, or even to become good at it takes 3,000 to 5,000 hours. So here's what I tell you. What is the least amount of thing you can do to create the most amount of money in the shortest period of time for your family? And I've boiled, after having my cars repossessed, and Kim, the story you heard, it's learn to become better. What is your first name again?
Jordan.
Jordan. Learn to become better at inviting people to the system. Say less to them. Learn how to share that, whatever system you're using, let's call it a Facebook group, and learn how to follow up and enroll. And that's the fastest way to pay off that debt. Because when you get good at saying less, connecting better, leading better, intentional, and you mentioned the word fear, because if you're carrying around the fear and debt, you may not know that it's coming out, but I could feel it's probably coming out, to be honest. I could feel the thought that you need them, or the thought that you're, oh, I'm a little nervous, or whatever. I could feel that you're still like a little clenched, instead of, have you heard of this thing yet? What's it about? Oh, I can't tell you. You got to join the group and check it out yourself. I mean, it's uncomfortable. You got to learn to be uncomfortable and say stuff that sounds so simple and short. You're going to feel uncomfortable that you didn't tell them anything. If you don't feel uncomfortable that you said too little, you're going to overtalk most likely.
Okay.
And if you do, you're unconvincing them. And you're becoming, there's some women in our team or in the industry that are so actually good at closing and selling, but then they enroll people and all the prospect can think about is how much energy that person had to put into them to convince them. So even if you get good at convincing and selling and sharing the vision too much, it can go against you for duplication. That's why I enroll a lot of people, and I say my goal is to say as little as possible and let the system do as much work as possible, but follow up outrageously diligently.
What he said is probably the number one thing when you started was, by the way, what are you looking to get out of this? What would your goal be? And as soon as they start talking, well, I really need to make up the income I just lost, $3,000 a month. Or as soon as they start tying their needs and their goals into seeing the vision of the company, that's when the marriage.
That's huge. And that's when you could say, man, we just brought a gal in named Lisa. She struggled for 10 years in this industry. And after plugging into the training and coming in at the top package, she was able to do over $100,000 in volume or 90 some thousand in volume last month. Or she was able to make over 5,000 her first month. All I know is this, Mrs. Prospector, mom of 4, all I know is this, you can do it. With my help and our system and the leadership that you have, we're going to win together. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to do whatever it takes to help you make back that $1,000 that you're going to invest into your family and buy the XYZ product.
Okay.
And then just
That's
say,
what I want to do.
and then I say this, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It
Welcome
makes a lot of sense. I mean, I already know I talk too much. So simplify, continue to use the system, and ask more questions. Ask more questions.
Exactly. Whenever you're
Okay.
nervous, whenever you're fearful, whenever you're afraid, don't make it about you as much as possible and reflect it on them.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
You know. Awesome. Our battery's croaking here. Anyways, we love you so much.
Love you guys.
Thank you for letting me pop onto your call. I can't wait to hear it. God bless you. God bless you, Christine. God bless you, everybody. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a powerful week, you guys. We love you.